But it's how you do it.
We don't know how it's delivered. Yeah, we don't know.
But as a manager, is there not like a bit of clarity on what the role is? Because if I was a manager, I'd be pissed off if an owner was going, well, why are you giving them a day off when I'm on the ground with them every day, around them? Like, surely that's my job to manage the players.
Why employ me?
An owner would never get involved in that level of detail.
They do, Gary. Gary did.
If the results were continually a pattern of bad ones and performances, that's when an owner or a sporting director would ordinarily say, look, we need to have a conversation because... Or if you've got a player that let's say a manager has invested 60 million in a player and they're never playing, and it's like devaluing that. I mean, that's happened at United a lot, by the way, in the last 12 years, where they've spent a lot of money, and these players have been devalued all the time. Liverpool get great value out of players. Some clubs get really good value out of players. To be fair, the boss at United, when we were there, he got good value out of players ordinarily. My point is, you can't, if you're devaluing assets, if you're getting poor performances or you're getting poor results, an owner and a sporting director will ordinarily step in and have a conversation.
Yeah, with that type of thing. But when you're talking about tactics, what happens to owners now? They're friends with agents, they're all their friends, they go for meals with ex-managers, and they all become experts themselves. And they're ringing you. These guys have never kicked the ball in their lives. And you're trying to explain why you're playing a certain player, a full-back. That can be tiring. I've heard loads of stories about different managers going into clubs and the owner saying, I've got a list of players. You go, no, that's not the players we're after.
That should never happen.
But that does, 100% happens. It does happen.
An owner can get approached for a player and say, look, just because they've got good leads, that should just go into the recruitment department and say, look, deal with them. That's what should happen on that particular... That should never be something...
Yeah, but what if the owner and the manager do get along? He can then say, listen, I've heard this and that. What do you think? An owner can surely say that to you if they've got a good relationship.
But some of the owners, if you look at some of the owners like at Brentford or Brighton or clubs like that, Palace, they have brilliant eyes for spotting.
At the moment, yeah, but some of these clubs have done that for the last 30 years. You know what I mean? They didn't have brilliant eyes then. No. They had timing of clubs, people come in and there's good chemistry with staff and everything's on the go. And when you win a football matches, obviously you can do what you want.
An owner would
that bit of power.
An owner would ordinarily set a criteria of what a signing looks like as well. If it's a 35-year-old, 34-year-old, Liverpool tried it with obviously Van Dijk and Salah. You have principles. You don't invest too much in players in their 30s because you're not going to get any money back from them. You don't want to pay loads of money for a striker in their 30s.
Of course, that's just common sense.
Exactly.
But they talk about criteria. But if there's a criteria with recruiting managers, Rosinho, Carrick here, with players, if there's a criteria and everyone's on this, why do so many get it wrong then?
Yeah.
In a sense, sport, you're saying when you compare it to other businesses, a kitchen, fish, but there's no logic to that. Football's a game, an emotional game. There's injuries. The chef's not going to come in and go, it's a different vibe to it going on now. I know you have to answer
because you know how it all works and everything.